Today, Asmongold expresses his support for police officers trampling a subdued protester with their horses. He also said he has no issue with people running over protesters and killing them.
Must have been the wind, yep. And then the guy got arrested. And he wasn't going to do anything. Yeah, fire mage pussy. Well, I guess he was out of mana. And yeah, so the media dies. Yeah, it's just misunderstood. Yeah, I mean, people like this. Like, I think that the big issue of like, of this and what the big problem is that people light stuff on fire. They destroy property. They basically just go ape.
Did that guy do any of those things? You're watching the cops behave infinitely more violent towards another human being in broad daylight, and you're trying to justify that by saying, well, you know, other people in a different part of town, by the way. I believe this is a different part of town. This is not even like the protest we were at. By the way, to understand how far right we have gotten, for the record, back in the day when Sex Pestany said,
the rioting needs to stop. And if that means like white redneck militia dudes out there mowing down protesters that think that they could torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my blessing, because holy shit.
He got banned. He got de-verified. Asmongold can now be the largest content creator on the platform and be like, yeah, they deserve it. To be fair, he's talking about the cops in this circumstance. We understand them as white supremacist force and not like the non-state actors taking matters in their own hands. But even then, the results are the same. He will get no punishments for this. As a matter of fact, I'll probably get banned before he does.
And nobody has anything happen. Like, there's never any consequences for these people. And so I'm really glad to see this happen. This guy trying to run away. Again, literally zero sympathy for these kinds of people. He's trying to run away from the police, etc. I don't give it. They're psychopaths. Well, there are people. The reason why these people are doing it, I'm off. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, no, you're right. The psychopath is certainly the people that are protesting ICE kidnapping other people, okay? Kidnapping their neighbors, kidnapping their community members, and not the rat king who is covered in his own filth and rot, sitting in the comfort of his home going, yeah, it's perfectly fine to trample over a taxpayer with horses. Yeah, it's based. Yeah, disgusting. Of course, you can get away with saying this kind of thing if you have no real moral compass and you have nothing that you would actually fight for, and you are an immensely privileged person, an unimaginably wealthy person, an immensely privileged person who doesn't give a fuck about anybody else. You can even get a bunch of other nihilistic edgelords who also don't give a fuck about this or like the fact that ICE is kidnapping people and sending them the CCOT to cheer this on.
And again, they should immediately arrest this guy. And the mayor said it was Trump's fault. Yeah, watch him bonk the dude with a horseback. Yeah, a huge W. I mean, again, it's just arson, and somebody like this should spend a lot of time in jail.
After Asmongold said he has no issue with people running over and killing protesters, he confessed that he constantly fantasizes about killing random people and must restrain himself.
You think about killing random people? Yeah, all the time. Oh, constantly. All the time. Yeah, if somebody makes me mad or something like that, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Sure. I just don't do it. I remember, dude, the 3 months that I played Call of Duty, I could not drive down the road without thinking about every pedestrian and if I could run them over or not. For like 3 months.
Oh, yeah, I'm the psychopath, or the people that are out there in the streets. Those are the psychopaths, you know, not Asmongold. Well, I guess he's openly admitting he has more restraint than the cops that he was cheering on a second ago. He has literally said in the past that he does not experience empathy towards other human beings and doesn't care about other people, just a misanthrope through and through. Yeah, the problem is, on the internet, a lot of people have bricked their brains into thinking that this is a demonstration. This kind of like sociopathic, antisocial personality disordered behavior is actually cool. Like, you're so edgy, you're so sick, you want to kill people? Oh man. It's like, don't worry guys, he's not killing anybody because he's not leaving his rotted house. Like, how the f do we go from looking at these nerdy school shooters to having entire communities that are designed around people who look like these god school shooters and behave like these god school shooters and have the same exact perspective of these god school shooters? How did this happen? It's crazy. Yeah, he won't even kill the roaches in his home, chat. Yeah, don't worry.
I was going in on this because I spend so much time around people over on Call of Duty. That's normal. Everybody does. Yes. It's just intrusive thoughts. I'm just open about it.
Everybody,
yeah, you asked me the honest opinion. That's my honest opinion. It's called invasive thoughts, and everybody has them. Yes. You make that decision every time you drive, actually. No need to get guns? Absolutely. And so, yeah, it's the call of the void. You're describing psychopathy? Well, either way, I don't let things like this affect me at all or bother me.
He's so cool. He's so level-headed. He's like, I got the thrill in me, dude. I got this violent need to do violence. I'm a bad. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense why he would also say this. This makes perfect sense. A guy who's like, yeah, every time I drive, I want to kill pedestrians. Aren't I a bad? Well, then, of course, turn around and be like, I love when the state is doing violence to other people. It's like he can't do it himself, so he likes it when the state is doing it. And there are no repercussions for him defending the state doing this sort of thing because of the way we interpret state violence. We interpret state violence as a perfectly normal situation. And the video that he's, by the way, the video that he's like defending here and saying, yeah, based over is this one. It's utterly psychotic. They apprehend him. Okay. I think he has a camera. Did they kick his camera off? Like, what is that? That looks like a camera.
To protect lives, safeguard constitutional rights, and serve every.
They surround him
with integrity. Let me open it up now for any.
Oh, it was a mask. It was a respirator. They jump over him. They step on him. It was a gas mask. He's trying to get up. His hands are in the air. He's like, let me go, let me go. And the cops, first they, before they even slam him to the ground, the horses stomp on him. Then they hit him in the head with a baton. Of course, they're doing this because they don't think that they're being watched. I guess they don't give a shit. And why should they? They have no accountability. It's built into the goddamn law, dude. Asmongold, Hasan is a fake revolutionary. He's not on the street putting his life on the line. Chat, he was literally protesting in the streets. Asmongold, well, he should be arrested then. Like, they will go, hey, man, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you getting off? By the way, he never gets off his, even though I get off my all the goddamn time whenever there is like an opportunity to mobilize. And then when they find out I did actually get off my, then he goes, okay, well, then he should be arrested.
You see Hasan? No, I don't see Hasan. I heard he was out there. I don't know. I think that I saw an image of it, and I think he's on like the side up the top. So he's not actually going to go down there and stand in the in this area because if he.
Oh, goalpost shifted. No, I was down there, dip. Oh, he went in, but that's not enough. It's not enough that he actually is there. He actually is not like in front of the line. Oh, he is in front of the line. Okay, well, then he should be killed.
If he did, he'd get in trouble. Right? Like, he has no problem LARPing as a revolutionary, but actually putting it on the line, this is going to be very different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh, I'd have to double see and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all of these people should just get arrested. That
was so quick. Someone was like, no, he was down there. It's like, oh, he should get arrested. Like, that was literally, bro, the goalpost shift was so fast. He just went like, dude, oh my God. He went, he's not down there. He's a LARPer. He's not down there. He's a LARPer. Where are you? You're at your house. Why don't you go protest alongside ICE, dude? Put your pussy right on that, okay? Put your pussy right in the front lines. Stand behind the ICE agents and be like, please, please kill these people. You have no problem saying that from home. Go to the pro-Israel rallies and be like, we want more death. Yeah, go assist ICE, you god bootlicker. Jesus Christ.
Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah,
Look, this part is so funny, though. Holy shit. Someone being like, nah, he was there. He was in the front lines. Like,
different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like,
just no. Oh, you should just kill him, arrest him. Come on. What's happening?
I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh,
dude, right-wingers are such crybabies, dude. They have designed their entire culture around resisting against a tyrannical government, okay? They're like, oh, yeah, come and take it. Like, I got my gun. Like, I'll fight tyranny, you know? They wave the Gadsden flag. But then the moment that the government is being tyrannical, they're like, oh, please do more tyranny, please. Actually, can I assist you? Can I assist you in the tyranny? We love the tyranny.
I'd have to double see and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all these people should just get arrested. That's really how I see it.
Asmongold looking at the picket lines during the civil rights struggle. Yeah, all these blacks, they got to get arrested. And the whites too, actually. Separate but equal, guys. Yeah, based. It's separate but equal. Too much if you ask me. It should be separate and unequal. But they got equality. It's just separate. They don't like it. Yeah. Why are they resisting? Yeah, based. I was going to be on board, but LBJ, not really good that he sent the National Guard to Selma. Why is he protecting these criminals? Obviously, the law's the law. The law's the law, guys. Chat, the law is the law. These blacks that are trying to walk, trying to march, how about they don't march? I don't like it. We want to keep them separate. Yeah, law's the law. Law and order. Restore it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how like there's no other solution to it other than that.
There's no other solution. By the way, the beauty of this is these people are engaging in a behavior that absolutely is a nuisance, okay? They're protesting and they've blocked off the highway in an effort to protest, right? Except they're protesting for a good cause, a cause that I 100% agree with, that ICE should not work within the confines of any state, really, but especially not in Los Angeles, which is a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city, right? No ICE. No ICE in general. If you were to ask me, I think it should be completely dissolved. It should not exist at all. In the past, before the Department of Homeland Security was invented, ICE did not exist. You had the INS, which would routinely conduct raids as well, which also should be, I mean, it was significantly more limited than what took place since ICE's invention, which is, again, a relatively new phenomena in American history. A lot of people take it for granted. You think the Department of Homeland Security was like, always around, like is post 9/11, okay? And so is ICE. And INS's activities, mostly, aside from like every now and then going after undocumented migrant workers, but their overwhelming majority of INS activities still revolved around like sex trafficking and like criminal elements, right? There are already federal law enforcement agencies that are supposed to be tasked with dealing with drug trafficking. You got the DEA, weapons trafficking, you got the ATF, and kidnapping and sex trafficking, you got the FBI. ICE does not need to exist. It simply exists as a way to militarize immigrant enforcement, which is a civil, not a real crime, basically. Like crossing the border is not considered a real crime. Overstaying your visa is not considered a severe enough crime that is supposed to be met with this level of force, this level of apprehension and mass detentions. If it was the case, then ICE wouldn't be routinely, when there's a libtard in charge, routinely conducting regular checkups with migrants that they are now kidnapping at the point of those checkups. For the record, it's not a crime. It's just paperwork. Like, you're waiting for your paperwork to be fulfilled to stay in the country. So I think ICE should be abolished 100%. This is a civil violation to cross the border illegally, or a civil violation to overstay your visa, which is, of course, the majority of undocumented migrants on U.S. soil are visa overstayers. But the crime that we're talking about in and of itself is simply paperwork, waiting for your paperwork. In most circumstances, these people are just waiting for their paperwork, and the government turns off the opportunity for said paperwork to be fulfilled. And then they go, nope, you're done. You're out. I consider this completely ridiculous, completely unacceptable. ICE's affairs are unimaginably cruel and completely unjustifiable. And also, it doesn't help anything. It hurts commerce. It hurts these communities. It hurts the culture. It's ridiculous. It is for no good reason. The only reason why all of these raids are happening is because Trump has been able to successfully whip up an incredible amount of hatred and dehumanization against migrants, claiming that they were all rapist criminals. So much so that even other people who are related to undocumented migrants themselves ended up voting for him. The alternative was so, from their perspective, that they went and they voted for Donald Trump. We were in an Uber going to Little Tokyo yesterday from one part of the protest to the next. And the dude that was in the Uber was Latino. And he told me he was so sad that he had voted for Donald Trump, that he never actually foresaw this level of like reaction, like this kind of ICE enforcement happening in Los Angeles. And he was wrong. And I fucking yelled about this every goddamn day. I yelled about this every fucking day on this goddamn broadcast. Every day that Donald Trump was a fucking fascist, that he was going to do mass deportations, that no one in the media was actually talking about how severe these deportations were going to look like, how awful these deportations were going to look like. And you want to know why no one in the media was asking that? Because the Democrats themselves were also running on immigration enforcement. They were running to the right. You have to remember, while yes, people who were locked in, people who were laser focused, people who were paying attention, people like yourselves that were in here for the entire journey, sure, you understood the situation. You understood the situation. But you have to recognize that the Democrats themselves also showcased a militant reaction to undocumented migration because they were so scared. They saw the incredible amount of reactionary, right-wing, migrants type of sentiment coming from the Republicans for the 4 years that Brandon was in charge. And by the end of said 4 years, Joe Biden turned around and said he was going to do a border wall bill. He was basically going to implement Donald Trump's 2020 vision. They openly admitted that migrants constitute a national security threat. They basically handed that victory to the Trump administration by saying, you know what? We got caught. Trump was right. Migrants are actually criminals. Some of them are really violent ones, as a matter of fact. But we want to be the reasonable way. We want to be the reasonable party that deports some of these criminal migrants. They want to deport every migrant. That kind of idiotic messaging is only going to make the average person think, okay, well, I guess the Republicans were right. I guess the Republicans were right that migrants are criminals. Of course, they're going to think, yeah, I guess like, you know, I should vote for the honest guys. Why should I vote for the diet version when the real full power soda exists? I'm using Felix Biederman terminology here. The full powered soda, the full powered sugar soda is the Republican Party. The diet, gay, elitist, technocratic version of said soda is the Democratic Party. No one wants to drink the diet soda. We're Americans.
Impeding a highway? They are. They're impeding a highway.
Yeah, they are impeding a highway, and that's unacceptable. But those cops are also then using said highway for the rest of the night to stage, okay, because that's what they did. Those cops then impeded the highway for the rest of the night as a staging ground, by the way. But Asmongold, of course, has no issue with that. These guys are impeding the highway in protest. That's wrong. They should be arrested. Cops impede the highway so they can use the same taxpayer-funded weapons on their own tax-paying citizens to defend ICE raids in the state, a sanctuary state, in a sanctuary city. That's perfectly valid. Do you understand the double standard? It all revolves around institutions and defending institutional power, defending state power. You're like, no, cops can do whatever the fuck they want. They can be as violent as they want. That's perfectly valid because on the other side, the people that are receiving that violence are probably doing something that they shouldn't be doing. You're not even like entertaining the idea that maybe the cops should not be doing this. The vast majority of Americans do not want to deport most illegal immigrants who lived here for years and are productive members of society. The fact that the Democrats are scared to fight on an issue where they have a 61-24% majority is absolutely pathetic. Yeah, also, this is not new. People wanted fucking mass deportations, right? Everyone said, oh, well, 60% of Americans want mass deportations. What did I say whenever those polls came out? Two things. Number one, those polls also have a second question that never gets brought up in media. When given two options, mass deportation or mass amnesty, the majority always goes with mass amnesty. That's the second option is never discussed. And number two, these people are advocating for a thing that they do not understand. And it is up to both the media and more importantly, the Democratic Party, the counter message to show how depraved mass deportations would look like. And if the Democrats don't actually, one, talk about the humanity of migrants and how we are a nation of migrants and how these people are wonderful contributors to American society, that they're just working alongside all of us every single day, and how important it is that we actually pay them back, how we actually give them the paperwork, how we actually allow them to become more productive members of society that can take more of the amenities. They can use more of the amenities. When the Democrats don't do that and the market is flooded with right-wing sentiment, you arrive at Haitians are eating cats and dogs. Haitians on temporary protective status that Trump offered them, by the way, just as the Biden administration did, are actually illegal aliens and they're eating cats and dogs. That's what the discourse was. It blew my mind. If you let these guys, even with liberals, okay, this is why I yell at liberals all the time. If you let the right-wing reactionary psychopaths drive discourse, they are always going to escalate. They are always going to say even more insane things, even more violent things, even more radical things, because they have not logically arrived at their position. They have arrived at their position not by looking at the facts of the ground, facts of the matter, looking at the facts on the ground, looking at empirical evidence. They arrived at that conclusion out of anger, resentment, and fear. They arrived at that because they have a white nativist attitude, a white supremacist attitude, an idea that like third world migration is actually disrupting American culture and ruining American society. We don't want to be around these blacks and browns. Like that's their mentality. That's their primary focus here. And they will do anything to try and radicalize average people every single day, and they did it so goddamn successfully. It blows my mind. They did it so successfully that Latino men were going, that's right, I, Jose, believe that we should get these bad migrants out of this country. It's like, bro, they think you're the bad migrant. They think you are also the third world guy that ruined the culture of this country. That's what they're saying. And now that this violence is unfolding, of course, people go, oh, never mind. I didn't like that. It's just like, as I said, the Uber driver who was like really devastated that he was watching his neighborhood get ripped apart by ICE agents and having his neighbors get packed up. ICE going to school graduations. Like how insane is that? Where are these criminals that they're apprehending at school graduations? Are they apprehending these criminals at Home Depot? A dude that is so desperate for work that he's gonna do some drywall work, okay, for pennies on the dollar. That's how desperate that guy is. That guy's the criminal, really? Not this goddamn administration filled to the brim with rapists and you know, drunkards and psychopaths, felons. That guy who just simply wants a leg up for his family. Guy who came here and is working in slave labor conditions with the hopes that maybe his next of kin will have a better opportunity, one that he is fighting desperately for. That guy's the criminal. Fuck you.